Hey everybody, it's Mike from Orderflows, and welcome to today's video. It's Friday night. It's September 23rd. And, markets closed. We did have that nice late rally. We ended up the day down about just over 1.5%. I think we're down about 1.6%. We had that nice late rally, which I think helped some traders out. From the low of around 36.60 all the way up to 37.11. But that is just it's just a small rally in the overall action of today. We sold off from the 37.80 down to 36.60, so over what was that, about 120 points moved down, and we regained some of it late. I'm going to talk about something interesting in the order flow after the close that can be sort of a precursor to what to expect we may see on the weekend, or when we open on Sunday night. Now, the market that I will be watching to see what happens, if there's going to be anything interesting, is I'll be watching the crypto market over the weekend. We'll see if we get a push lower down below into the 18,000s over the weekend, if that's going to weigh on the market. The people don't like to admit it, but crypto is kind of closely tied to the equity markets now, so it's not so much for decentralization. It pretty much moves in tandem with the equity markets. But today in the order flow, some interesting things. Let's take a look at it. And really what I was talking about today is volume, where it appears in a bar, and what it means, right? Because if you watch the order flow, if you look at a footprint chart, this is my Orderflows trader footprint chart that I use, and every bar has decent volume. I'm talking about the E-minis here, but there's certain times where you sort of have heavier volume being clustered in certain areas. Okay, so most common areas for heavier volume, as opposed to the sort of your normal transactions going through, are going to be the highs and the lows of the day, right? At highs and lows, reason it's a high or it's a low. If it's a low, because it's support. It's a high because it's resistance. So trading 101, you sell resistance, you buy support. So there's always going to be a bit heavier volume at lows of the day transacting, or at the highs of the day. That's why when you see, like, for example, here, this market coming off, right? Cash open, we're going down lower. You're seeing these volumes down in here, 1,100, 700, 1,000. People, oh, you got heavy volume down here. Well, yeah, I mean, that's where you expect the volume to be, right? People are buying, that was a support level. That's why it was just below the low of the day. People viewed it as a support level for whatever reason. So I'm expecting to see volume. It's really what you want to be focused on, is where there's heavy volume. That's not an area that you'd be expecting support or resistance, because when that appears, then there's probably something else behind it, right? As opposed to trying to buy support or sell resistance. And today there was some good examples, around this 37.12 area here. Okay, let's just sort of find it. Okay, so 9 o'clock, 9:30, we were rotating around. 37.12 had been an area that we were trading around, right? You can see it in here, right? Got all the way up to 37.16 3/4. 37.12 area is just right around here. I'll just draw that line so you can see how the market is just sort of rotating right around that area a few times. And then we start coming up here. Okay, we come up into it. We get this, what is that? Like it's kind of like a star candle pattern. We probe up, then we come off. Okay, if you look at these volumes that's going through here, okay, what do we got? We got 276, 561. Okay, so the volume on this bar is 4,300. 10% of the volume happened at this 37.11 3/4 area. 561, right? That's like 11% of the volume of this bar at this trading on the offer at 11 3/4. Okay, and again, remember, this is an area we had just been trading at earlier, right in here. Okay, so it's not like you're not going to say, well, that's your resistance area, because no, that's an area we had traded around, started coming off, now we're rallying back up there. But this time we have some supply coming into the market. The 276, the 561, the 248, just this volume on the offer here. You add this together, you got over 1,000 contracts, right? That's over 25% of the volume in the bar at these three price levels on the offer. Okay, we know the offer is passive sellers. What does that mean? It means there's people defending that price there. They're happy to throw in their offers, let the market come up to them, fill them, and get into their trade. Market hit that area, so it came off, right? You see, even though it's a green candle, and normally, I'd prefer this to be a red candle, but you can only trade what the market is giving you. So it's giving me this green candle, but I know we're well off our highs. Okay, our high is 12 1/4. We're closing at 9 3/4. Okay, then we trade down. Then we come right back up. We start coming back up towards that level at 12 again. 11 3/4, we trade 108. 11 1/2, we trade 338. At 11 1/4, we trade 775. At 11, we trade 509. Even the one tick below here, at 10 1/2, we trade 322. If you were to add that up, the 322, the 509, 775, 338, the 108, that's 2,000, just over 2,000 contracts. That's almost over half the volume. Not over, the bar traded 4,000 contracts, but this is just under half. It's 2,000 and change, 2,052 contracts, just trading in this little area here in this bar. Okay, so I know, again, it's coming in right around this area that we had just been trading right around here. So I mean, if you were to take this volume from here up to here, draw some lines. Okay, I know already this is sort of forming a resistance area based on the volume that's going through, right? We're coming back up again. We're trading into it, but we're seeing, just delta at price here. You're seeing, on the offer, on the offer, on the offer. So we know that as we're coming back up in there, we still have those passive sellers there. And you can see the market just sort of came down a little bit. Again, started trying to test it, got within a tick of sort of that area. Though we did trade up to 11, where we had some little volume before. So now this is my area, right? This is my resistance, right? You can see how it's working. Looking at where the heavy volume is concentrated here, which relates to the heavy volume being concentrated here. It's not surprising to see that if we're going to come back up in there, you still probably have those passive sellers there to absorb whatever buying is taking place. And it works, right? Those sellers are there. And the market came off. Okay. Again, we sort of came back up there, finally sort of got through it, trading some heavier volume, just sort of get through that area and it's over. But this is your clue here, with the order flow. It's not like, okay, I read this volume here. That's my level in the sand. Market can't go past it. Dynamics change in the market. And especially on a day like today where we got a 120 point range, everything's, people's perceptions of the market is changing literally by the minute. So it's not uncommon to see the market come back up and take a level. But this was a sign for you, to take this trade at least in here, right? You got 1, 2, third time a charm, right? Again, remember, if this is your resistance area, it's not like it's going to be a resistance forever. It's going to keep bumping into that, and you can see it came in here, came off a little bit, finally got through it up in here. This is one of the problems I see with guys that use just regular technical analysis. They draw a line, they think that's it, that's the line. The market can't get past this. Then the market tests it, and it just blows right through it. So when you're trading these areas in order flow, right, you got to realize things have changed. Right? What was bearish now is starting to turn bullish for whatever reason. But the trade to have is, getting short somewhere in here, ideally around, 10, 11, and covering it down here at 5. It's 5 points in, just a few minutes. This is a 30-second chart, so it's moving a little bit faster. But, whether you're looking at a 1-minute chart, you sort of see the same things. Okay? So, just look for where the heavy volume is transacting. Okay, then a bit later, right, it did come back up here, right? We traded all the way up to 16 before we started selling off again. But there was some other interesting things in the order flow here. So we're making these lows. I forgot what time it was. I think it was around 11. Don't hold me to that time. Let me see here. Let me just scroll through it. I think it was here, right? So this market came. We came down, right? We made those new lows, started rallying back up. A nice move, you know, getting through 80s from 36.80 straight up. You see all these points of controls, mostly all higher. Seeing nice buying deltas, positive deltas. You see nice buying imbalances. And then finally, we work all the way up here, just under 3,700. Obviously, the figure 3700 is a nice psychological level. And you can see the heavy volume coming in here, right? The 587. This is what stopping volume looks like, right? The 587 on top, 287 beneath it, you know, 220. Again, this bar is trading just under 4,000 contracts, 39.23, and literally a quarter of your volume is just happening in these three price levels right in here at the high, just, you know, at the high, second level, third level. So you know that's what price defense really looks like. Okay, it's that heavy offers, even though it trades, right? Because what's happening is absorbing the buying that's going on, and you can see the market immediately had a nice sell-off. This is one you can just go with as soon as the bar closes and starts trading down in the next bar. You just go with it, you know, right away there at 97. You know, and then it just sort of immediately pulls down to, you know, the 93, 92 area, and it just sort of goes sideways. But look at that level. Okay, this is the level here. Just sort of draw it in. You see, sort of came right back up to that level where you had that volume before, right? You had this as stopping volume. That's what these ratios tell me. People ask, what are these blue numbers or the black numbers above or below my bars? These are order flow, what I call order flow ratios. It's a ratio of the volume inside the bar at certain areas. So I know if it's a, excuse me, if it's a small number between 1 and 0, so 0.48 is between 1 and 0. It's telling me they're stopping volume. If it was the opposite, if it was a very high number, like 58, that would tell me it's price exhaustion. But I know I got stopping volume just by looking at the volumes here. Very simple. Okay, 587. That's a lot of volume at a price in a bar on the E-minis. Okay, and it's again 587 into, you know, total volume is 3,900. So what does that work out to? It's you know, I can't think right now. 10, not 10%. It's like 6 or 7% of the volume of this bar, right at the high. So I know that's what's called stopping volume. Is volume to stop a move back up, right? All you gotta do is you simply make a note. F6 on NinjaTrader draws the, you know, F6. You just click it. You see the pencil's enabled. You just draw your line right here. Let your line in the sand. Watch for the market to come back up there. What's it going to do? Came back up here, came off. Came back up here. Again, we're putting in some volume. That's 235. You know, this is your opportunity to get short somewhere around 99 with the stop just above 3,700, because I know there's this level is being defended, and it sold off quite nicely. I'd be happy to just get 5 points out of this move. But again, it sells off, keeps selling off, you know, down to 90, down to, you know, it did get down to 85. I wouldn't, even though this is a bullish ratio in terms of price defense, you know, the volumes aren't that strong, honestly. It's just 137, it's 160. But, you know, that was a nice move. Now, late in the day, right after cash closed, right, we had that big rally going into the cash close. What was that, about 50 points? 60, 36.60 all the way up to 37, just under 37. Oh, it did get 37.10. But cash close where? What time was it? Right in here. This volume, this heavy volume, right? Obviously, cash closes the heaviest volume. What I thought was interesting was this 1541 coming in here. This came in 3 minutes after the cash close on a Friday. So to me, I read that as, you know, okay, there was probably a lot of orders going into the cash close. You see this volume, 60,000. You know, here's 18,000, there's 11,000, 16,000. You know, 1 minute afterwards, it's still at 18,000. So it's a lot of contracts going through. Well over, you know, it's 125,000 contracts in this 5 minute period. Actually, this is 2.5 minute period, because this is a 30-second chart. So from 30 seconds to, you know, 30 seconds after the cash close, it's trading 120,000 contracts, which is big. But then a few minutes later, like 2.5 minutes later, that big volume. You don't usually see big volume coming through in the market afterwards. Now it could be someone says, shit, you know, I was supposed to sell some stuff on the close, I forgot, and come in and work it out. But when I see size like that coming in after the close, it sort of portends what's going to happen, what I think might happen over the weekend. And I mean, the market did sell off immediately right after that, but then it, you know, sort of rotated back up again, going into the futures close, just sort of trading right around that level. So, you know, I just found it interesting to see that big volume come in sort of post cash close, which is something you don't normally see. So just you know, it's one of those things where someone put a gun to my head, you know, would you take a position on Sunday on the open? Yeah, I'd probably be looking to trade it short. But again, you know, you could watch, you know, for your junkies out there, keep an eye on the crypto markets, see which way they're going to go this weekend, if we're going to get a dump or not. If crypto holds steady, then we'll probably open up steady on equities. So anyway, guys, have a great weekend. I got some things coming out for you guys over the weekend, so be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, so you get the notifications when I post new videos. So again, thanks everyone. Bye bye.